All right, this year's summit is unique in several ways, particularly because of the theme of this year's summit. Now, my session, I will be covering quite a number of aspects, and I must warn that this will just be part one because I prepared to speak for 2 hours. So anywhere I stop, you know that we will continue in May. Now, I'll be speaking on a very unique topic, which I have titled The Pocket Lawyer. I would also look at the paradox of stupidity, which my friend aptly captured when I walked in. I will also be looking at brand and identities, and I'll also be looking at online contracts. Now, to be able to achieve this, I don't know how to use this. All right, to be able to achieve this, why did I choose the topic, the pocket lawyer? I'm one who is an advocate that everyone should be his own lawyer. Because when you try or attempt to get a lawyer to represent you in any matter, they make millions of naira. And the bigger the problem, the more money you get to pay for those services. It's just like a man going to the hospital to be operated upon for a heart condition. You know, definitely you pay higher than a man who goes to be treated for malaria. That is the situation we find ourselves. Now, I read a very unique quote while I was preparing for this from a very young lawyer, one Chimeze. He said that his grandmother used to call him the pocket lawyer. That is because he was very inquisitive as a child. And I believe each and every one of us have a packet of the loyaliness in our lives. You question things, you ask questions, you question answers until you arrive at questions that are unanswerable and answers that are unquestionable. That in itself makes you a lawyer. And you know, the target is the society or law considers everyone to know the law. And that is why there's this unique maxim in law that says that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. That presupposes that you are supposed to know every aspect of law, so that when you falter, you cannot plead ignorance as an excuse or the reason behind committing the atrocities or infractions you have committed. I don't know, can you help me with the slide? I don't know why I'm having issues with this. This way. Now, a lawyer is like a receptionist. The receptionist in an organization is supposed to be your first point of contact. The receptionist is supposed to know everything, can show you to the office, give you ideas as to the questions that you have. That is what a lawyer is supposed to be in your life. A lawyer is supposed to point you to situations and issues of concern to you. And by so doing, what do? They make millions of naira out of you. You know, it's always said that a doctor goes on his knees praying to God to what? To give him patience. A lawyer also goes on his knees that you will have problems. Ocholi is laughing because that's what he does every day. Now, if you are able to solve your own problem by yourself, would you need a lawyer in the first instance? The answer is no. And the uniqueness of an attempt to be a lawyer by yourself solves the equation of having more money in your pocket. And I will start with painting a very short scenario. Please, can I have a microphone? I pleaded with my brother and my friend, Ocholi, to allow his wife read a portion of a 256-page judgment of the Court of Appeal in order to just illustrate a point.
In view of the above findings, I hold that the ruling of the court below cannot be justified in law in view of the evidence of non-service presented before it by the appellants/applicants. Consequently, the ruling of the court below is hereby set aside, including the judgment delivered on the 22nd April 2008. The case is to be sent back to the Honorable Chief Judge of Ogun State for a retrial before another judge. Others made accordingly. The appeal is allowed.
Thank you very much. This is a brief that a client of mine just gave me to handle. This matter is between a family wherein the younger brother went and sold the family property, tricking his brothers and sisters to sign document appointing him as the attorney to act on behalf of the family. He went ahead to sell the property for 150 million naira, gave the family members how much? 50 million naira. So the family went to court. Now, because they did not serve one family member, this matter began in 2008. Because they did not serve a family member, the court process, it went on appeal, and this bulky judgment simply says, return back to sender and start afresh. The challenge in 2019, the challenge is that if we cannot solve problems by ourselves, we create more problems, making people swear to affidavit, 5 processes, statement of defense, statement of this, statement of that, that adds little or no value to your life. That is the reason you must and you need to first and foremost become your own lawyer so that you can solve the problem. And I can assure you that the charge, the amount we will be charging for this suit is nothing less than 5 million naira to start de novo. That is what it costs you when you choose not to be your own lawyer. Now, I will speak to a unique talking point. Why do you need to be a lawyer? Today we have heard so much about do this, do that, set goals, do not set goals, and so many inspirational talks. Now, if you are unable to use the instrument of the law to your advantage, you will have a unique problem tomorrow. And I would like to speak to the issue of brands and patents. Now, most of us have heard about intellectual properties, right? You've heard about intellectual property. Intellectual property is not a physical structure or a building you see on ground. It is a property that comes from the mind. And that's why each time I think about architect affairs companies, minds and lines, minds this, minds that, it means that the creative industry which is within your mindset is what you register that becomes your unique brand. And that is what global brands and unique brands have used to what? To become even bigger and richer in outlook. And I'll give you an empirical example. Who have heard about Oprah Winfrey? You've heard about Oprah Winfrey. Who has heard about Dangote? Do you know any other Dangote other than the Dangote that you know? Do you know of any other Oprah Winfrey like the Winfrey that you know? Have you heard of any other Oprah? When you think Oprah, her name, her image comes to you. You know what she has done? She has not only registered her brand, the name Oprah. No one in the United States can use the name Oprah. In fact, she has registered the word O. The word what? O. You cannot use the word O in the United States of America. Why? Because somebody has taken ownership of it. Now, why did she do that? Because when companies invest billions of dollars to create the image in your heart, they do not want any other person to take it over. Why? Because that is where they make money from. Have you heard of any other Facebook? Have you heard of any other MTN or Glo? These are generic words, but they took out time to register this so that you do not steal it from them. Today, by the grace of God, we have been invited by Purple Foundation. You see that logo there? That logo represents their what? Their brand. Think about Access Bank. They have a what? A logo. Think about Zenith Bank. The word Z has been registered. You cannot use the same brand. Now, we are unwise when we begin to create issues without having the relevant legal backings to support what we are doing. I can assure you that Purple Foundation has been incorporated as an incorporated trustee. True or false? Minds and Lines have existed for over 12 to 13 years. He registered it. The logo is also what? Registered. Why is it that some persons decide to take advantage of the instrument of the law to their own advantage, while others do what? They sell their information for free. Facebook, Twitter, and all the social media platforms, they collect your data for free to do what? So that they can sell to outsiders, while protecting their corporate brands with what? With serious agreement. As simple as Facebook is, do you know the end user agreement is over 500 pages? In fact, it is over 10,000 pages because of the incorporated documents that you never click to read. If I ask each and every one of us here today, how many of you read the MTN agreement before you subscribed? How many of you did? I'm even going too far. My friend and brother saw me signing the attendance register. And he said, of all the speakers, Barrister Paul Ede, why are you the only one signing here? Actually did. Now, did you read what they wrote in the attendance register? You did. A lawyer, even a lawyer did not read what was written there. And do you know, smart guy, Ape, you know what he did? Underneath that register that you wrote, please somebody bring that register. And that takes me to what Ikani was looking forward to. Legal stupidity. You know, you can be legally stupid. How many of you wrote what they wrote in that attendance register? No, I want us to read it. Please. Please come forward. Don't worry, I'll be done with this is part 1. Next year is part 2. Please read it.
By completing this form, you have given us permission to retain and use your details within our membership database and mailing list.
You see, some of you did not plan to be members, but you have given them the go-ahead. A lawyer didn't read it, oh, he just signed. You see, everybody ought and need to be a pocket lawyer. You must know little of everything, because you cannot plead ignorance as an excuse to the mistakes you have made in life. And I end with this simple story. I've told you about this client. Family feud between brothers and sisters. Now, they have gone to Supreme Court. The brother has said, okay, instead of going to Supreme Court, let us go back to the court of first instance. Smart lawyer. I won't go to court. I will bring all of them to the same table to negotiate and still earn my fee. Because that is what they ought to do from the very scratch. Whatever you do in life, please be conscious of the decisions you take. When they give you an agreement, madam, maybe I should end with you. She came to me once and said I should open an account with them. I collected the form and the agreement that was not legible. And I canceled some portion and signed on top and gave her the document. You remember that incident? Because there were some clauses that were implicating. So I did that deliberately so that when they bring the form tomorrow, I'll say I canceled this portion. I hope and pray that with these few points of mine, you are convinced and not confused that you should be legally wise and you should be a pocket lawyer. Thank you.